Hello! In this tutorial, we'll walk through how to create a complete light show in 30 minutes or less. We'll start with a single position cue, combine it with SoundSwitch's built-in movement effects, and enhance everything with autoscripts to achieve smooth, professional results with minimal setup. This method is especially useful when you're working in a venue that has different lights than your own, or if your previous project file has an error or has become corrupted. First, create a 8-bar auto loop, add color, and move the intensity all the way up. In the Position tab, create a folder and name it. We will name it Fast Move. Create a position, name it, and move it into the folder. Now add your movers and par-led fixtures to individual groups, one group for your movers and another group for your pars. Keep in mind that if you're using multi-cell fixtures, they can't be placed in groups because they already act as a group of fixtures on their own. In that case, you'll need to work with them individually. Now open the position attribute we created and set the pan and tilt for your fixtures in a chessboard-style order. Adjust the positions by pairing fixtures. For example, select the first and last mover, then the second and third, and continue this pattern across all quadrants if you're using more than 4 movers, until you achieve the position you want. I recommend aiming all fixtures forward. Add the position attribute at the beginning of the auto loop, then play the auto loop to confirm that every light is exactly where you want it. Next, create a circular movement using the effect SoundSwitch provides. Set the speed to 5% and the size to 0%. Then play the auto loop to preview it. You can experiment with different size values, but I recommend keeping the speed at 5% for smoother transitions later when switching between auto loops and movement effects. Next, name your auto loop and duplicate it. In the duplicated version, choose a different movement shape from SoundSwitch, but keep the same size and speed values, or adjust the size if you prefer, while still keeping the speed at 5% as recommended. Continue duplicating the auto loops and assigning different movement shapes, always maintaining the same speed for smooth and consistent transitions. Don't forget to apply the same position attribute to every auto loop you create, so the movement runs correctly. Now, before you make other settings, test the auto loops in performance mode to make sure all work the way you want them. If you want, you can make more duplicates with different movement size values and different movements for more variations. Don't forget, keep the speed at 5%. Before we go any further, let's test all the auto loops to make sure they're working as intended. Now, let's add some colors. You can choose individual colors, smooth color transitions, or a mix of different combinations. The choice is yours. In this video, we'll use simple color transitions between fixtures and auto loops for a quick and effective test. Before we go any further, let's test all the auto loops to make sure they're working as intended. Next, let's move on to the second bank, which I've labeled as a hip-hop or Latino style, perfect for smoother, rhythmic movements. Begin by creating 4 auto loops, each set to 8 bars or longer to give the lights enough time to flow naturally with the beat. After creating them, make sure to name each auto loop so you can easily identify and organize them as we continue building the show. For this bank, we'll use the autoscripts that SoundSwitch provides. We'll choose slower autoscripts so they blend smoothly with the style of music we're working with. When selecting an autoscript, make sure to deselect the movement and strobe options to avoid unwanted effects. Keep in mind that autoscripts generate colors for all fixtures, including the individual channels of multi-cell fixtures. After applying an autoscript, always test the auto loops to make sure they create the look and feel you want. If they don't, try experimenting with different autoscripts until you find the one that fits your style best. Now, let's add movement effects to each auto loop. Keep the speed set to 5% to maintain smooth transitions across the entire bank. From here, you can choose to keep the same size value for a consistent visual style, or experiment with different size settings to create more dynamic and varied motion. Adjusting the size allows you to control how wide or subtle the lights move, giving you plenty of flexibility to match the mood and intensity of the music. Take your time to preview each auto loop and fine-tune the movements until everything flows naturally. If needed, you can create additional auto loops using the same color styles or movement patterns to build a longer and more complex show. The more variations you add, the smoother and more dynamic your performance will feel. Once you're done, don't forget to test everything in performance mode to make sure all the auto loops behave exactly the way you want them to. This final check ensures your show flows perfectly from start to finish. For the next banks, whether you call them house, retro, or any other style, you can continue using the same technique. But this time, you can experiment with more dynamic autoscripts, chase-style autoscripts, or even design your own custom patterns if time allows. SoundSwitch provides a variety of built-in color patterns that are easy to apply. But if you have extra time before the event, creating your own unique color schemes can give your show a personal touch and make it stand out. When building your auto loops, try to create 2 or more with the same speed before switching to a different value. This ensures a consistent flow between movements. The recommended speeds, 5%, 35%, 65%, 85%, and 95%, help maintain smooth transitions. But you can experiment with other values if you want to add variety or accentuate certain beats of the music. In addition to speed, consider experimenting with movement sizes, fixture intensity levels, or any other effects that SoundSwitch offers. Mixing these parameters allows you to create more complex, visually appealing shows. Always remember to add the position attribute at the beginning of every auto loop. This ensures that all fixtures start from the correct orientation and the movements run smoothly from the very first beat. If needed, you can also create attribute cues to set gobos, prisms, or other fixture-specific effects. Strategically placing these cues throughout your auto loops will help accentuate the music and add depth and texture to the visuals. You can also explore static looks or other creative setups to make your workflow more efficient and the final show more polished. Experimenting with these elements can add a professional level of detail that makes the performance visually engaging. Finally, once all auto loops and effects are in place, thoroughly test the entire show. Play it from start to finish, observing how each auto loop transitions into the next and how all movements, colors, and effects work together. Make any necessary adjustments, such as adding extra auto loops, tweaking speeds or sizes, or repositioning effects, to ensure the show flows seamlessly. With careful testing and refinement, you can extend the show, make it more dynamic, and create an experience that feels cohesive, energetic, and visually impressive for your audience. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow our channel, give this video a like, and share it with your friends. That way, you'll stay updated on all our latest tutorials, tips, and tricks to help you master your light shows.